15 years ago, I took the decision to take voluntary redundancy from my safe permanent contract and become a freelancer. It's a decision I've never regretted, but there has been a steep learning curve along the way. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 things I wish I'd known from the beginning of my freelance journey. I'm Rachel Roberts, and after 15 years as a freelance business owner, I'm here to help you develop your freelance business so that you can work less and earn more. Number 1, if you're a freelancer, you are also a business owner. Even if you're working for other companies, you're not employed by them in the same way that you were as an employee. It's generally cheaper for them to hire a freelancer, not least because they don't have to worry about things like holiday pay, sick pay, making sure that you have enough work to keep you busy, having to pay you the same amount every month, your equipment, and so on. Now, all of those things and more are your responsibility, and that's one of the reasons why you have to make sure that you're getting paid enough to cover all of those costs in addition to what you want to be earning from your business. It's also about your mindset, which needs to switch from being an employee to being the person who manages all the different elements in your business. Number 2, you need to get really good at time management and organization. When you run your own business, your time is literally your money. So you need to make sure that you're using that time in the best possible way for your business. Frittering away time, scrolling through social media, or procrastinating is losing you money. Create a weekly schedule which makes time for working on your business as well as in your business, and include time for breaks and professional development as well. Number 3, you don't have to do everything yourself. Particularly when you're starting out, money may be very tight, and it's tempting to try to do everything yourself in order to save some money. But while you may be an excellent teacher, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're amazing at everything else in your business, such as creating a website or doing your accounts. You may save money by doing these things yourself, but it will also take up a lot of time that could be better used to earn money to pay somebody else to do some of these things that you're not so good at, or even to pay for software to do things like your accounts or invoicing or making appointments with your clients. What I've learned over the years is to focus my energy into A, those areas where I excel and not those areas where other people can do it better than me, and B, those areas where I'm irreplaceable because people are paying to work specifically with me. Everything else I'll at least seriously consider outsourcing. And speaking as someone who got into quite a muddle with tax and VAT a few years ago, it's really worth investing in an accountant, and an accountant who understands the nature of your business and what you do. 4, money is not something that you can afford to ignore or avoid thinking about. In my experience, and I was no exception myself, within ELT, people are often not very good at focusing on the money side of their business. There's a sense that it should be a vocation, that we shouldn't be worrying about the money and so on, but you can't run a business in that way. I already mentioned that your pricing is going to have to be completely different when you're a freelancer to when you were employed, and the importance of getting on top of your accounts. But it's also a question of having a different mindset. Stop feeling embarrassed about invoicing people or reminding them when they forget to pay. It can help to see your business as something entirely separate from you as a person. Develop some policies for the business around payments that you can stick to, and tell people about your policies up front. This takes a lot of the personal sting out of dealing with money. I also recommend that you get into the habit of paying yourself a regular monthly salary out of the income from your business. Anything that's left over, you can put towards those months where the money coming in is less than you need to pay that salary. Number 5, set and stick to clear boundaries. Most people go freelance to gain more flexibility and freedom, but it can end up working the other way around. You find yourself working longer hours than you ever have before, working more unsociable hours, and generally putting up with things that you would never have put up with when you were an employee. It's important to consider what your non-negotiables are and then stick to them. Maybe you don't work weekends, or before a certain time in the day, or after a certain time in the day. Think about how many clients you're willing to take on as a maximum. It can feel like you're being nice when you are flexible about these things, but the problem is that you'll very quickly find yourself in a situation where you start to feel resentful towards your clients, which is not good for client relationships and not good for your mental health either. Number 6, build a personal brand and online presence. When I first went freelance as a materials writer, I managed to get most of my work through personal contacts at one particular publisher. This worked fine for a while until I realized that this was actually putting me in quite a weak negotiating position. I basically had to accept whatever they offered me. The same kind of thing applies to only getting your students through referrals and word of mouth. There are certainly some benefits to this, but it does often put you in a position where you feel you have to accept whatever comes along. So you may end up teaching students who are not really your ideal client, or accepting a rate of pay that isn't really as much as you want, or teaching at times of the day that don't really suit you. Whatever your freelance business, it's always worth putting in the effort to get more widely known and to make more contacts. And you should never be too busy to be able to put time in on this, because ultimately this is what's going to pay off in the end, in terms of having the work that you can pick and choose between and being able to charge a rate that you're really happy with. Number 7, create a niche. I really recommend developing a more specific niche, because getting known for one thing in particular really helps to raise your profile and can also increase your perceived value. This is something I didn't really do in terms of my work as an ELT materials writer. I could write for adults, upper secondary, I wrote exam material, non-exam material, wrote for different kinds of exams. And I really prided myself on this flexibility. It does have some advantages, of course, because you're able to take on different kinds of work. But the problem is that you're not necessarily the first person that they think of when they're looking for people to work on a particular project. Consider what you particularly want to be known for and create a personal brand around this. You want people to instantly recognize you as exactly the right person to help them with what they need. This isn't about what's sometimes called picking a niche, for example, deciding that you're only going to teach IELTS. It's a lot more subtle than that, and is about thinking about the kinds of people that you want to work with, what their aims are, what your skills are, and how all of these things can be brought together. Number 8, embrace self-promotion. Get over yourself. This isn't about showing off or bragging. This is about marketing your business, and businesses simply don't succeed long-term without marketing. Try and see the marketing as a service to your potential clients. How are they going to know how you could help them if they don't even know that you exist? Marketing is not about promoting yourself anyway, and certainly not about selling yourself. It's about making it really clear to the people that you want to work with exactly what it is that you can offer them, how you can help them, and why they should choose you rather than somebody else. Number 9, surround yourself with a supportive community. Freelancing can sometimes feel a bit isolating or lonely, especially if you work from home. Find support and community from other freelancers, not to mention the opportunity to learn from each other. Join my membership, the Confident ELT Freelancer Collective, for training, motivation, encouragement, somewhere to go and ask all of those questions, and valuable insights to help you thrive in your ELT freelance journey. Number 10, nurture a growth mindset. As educators, we're generally very good at telling our students all about how mistakes are part of the process, that learning a language is not something that happens overnight. But we're not necessarily as good at taking on board that advice ourselves when it comes to learning how to run a successful ELT freelance business. You're going to make mistakes or fail to take the steps you should. I know I did. That's all part of the learning process. But just as your students will make faster progress if they work with you, my students make faster progress in their business if they work with me. Check out how to work with me on my group program for ELT and ESL freelancers in the video description below. Let me know in the comments which of those 10 tips you found the most helpful, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more in-depth help with many of the topics that I've talked about today.